My husband neglects our daughters to hang out with his nephews.
Well, maybe his nephews are cooler.
Boys, boy time, boy time, boy time. Hi.
Hi.
I had an issue yesterday with my husband, which I'm conflicted about, regarding whether I was in the wrong. My husband and I have 2 daughters, 6 and 8. My sister-in-law and her family live a couple of blocks away from us, and they have 2 boys, both 9 years old. Her husband is in the army, so he's away from home a lot. By the way, this comes from user reasonableVast2576. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
We're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do, so just tell us what you would do.
We're not Benoit Blanc.
In the comments. When he's away, the boys come to our house often. They are great boys, respectful and energetic. When they're here, my husband takes them to the park to play soccer. They always say they have a great time, and my sister-in-law also thanks us for it. When they're not around, my husband takes our daughters to the park too. I often join them, and they also look forward to it. However, when my husband takes the boys along, even though we encourage our girls to go along, they tell me they do not enjoy it. Basically, the boys get super competitive, and it's not fun the way it is when it's just them with my husband. I take them along by myself, but apparently it is not as much fun. My husband can also only do some days of the week, and when their father is away, the boys come on those days. Yesterday, I asked my husband to talk to his sister and set some kind of limit to those days because our daughters like going to the park with him for soccer, and it's not the same with me or when they go with him and the boys. He looked taken aback and said that they're good kids. Their dad is away for long stretches, and they seem to have fun there. I said I never said they were not good kids, just that our daughters felt like they were missing out. He said he'll encourage them more to come with them, and he'll make sure things don't get too competitive.
That's not the issue, though. They just want to do stuff with their dad. He needs to understand that they probably just want to do stuff like with him that they like, not necessarily cater to what the nephews like, which is what he seems to be doing.
They want to go to the park and play soccer. They just don't want to play it with the nephews because then the nephews get too competitive.
Yeah, maybe he sits them out. They do shifts. He goes, okay, boys, hit the showers. Girls, let's go.
All right, boys, you run 10 laps around the field as a
Yeah.
warm-up. It's a warm-up.
Maybe we do that.
And then
Maybe
they
we
get
go,
all
boys,
tired.
run around the field. Girls come in, play a little soccer. Girls run around the field. Boys come in. Like, maybe we switch off.
Yeah, bring another ball.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a variety of
crazy.
balls. Soccer ball, tennis ball, volleyball,
Wiffle ball, baseball,
pickleball.
Pickleball.
pickle.
It's a shuttlecock. I said we've gone through that before, and it is just not fun for them. He said telling his nephews this would be cruel and made it sound like I was an a-hole for suggesting it, so I wanted to ask, am I the a-hole?
But I think there's got to be an easy solution to this. There just must be.
Have their dad retire from the military.
Yeah, easy.
Easy peasy. I mean,
Have the little boys join the military as the ball catchers.
I don't think anyone's really an a-hole here because he's like, well, they need they're my nephews and they need like their dad is gone all the time.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe
Maybe just switch off.
your daughters, and then OP can take the nephews.
And then we switch, and then OP takes daughters, dad takes girls.
I think
Oh, wait,
it's
no,
a good
dad
thing
takes
though.
boys.
Well, competition is good.
Yeah, but if they're being rough,
I don't know if they're being rough. They're just competitive.
they might be being rough.
Work hard, play hard. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think there's
Teach
an
the
easy
girls to be
solution.
strong.
It's not about strength.
We've got some comments. Comment 1. There has to be a happy medium to be found. Can you play with the boys at the park some days while your husband spends more time with the girls? Can your husband plan other activities that aren't soccer for everyone to do together? I agree he needs to prioritize the girls, but don't think any group has to suffer to do so. OP says, I'll try suggesting this. Thank you. I've tried with the girls, but they're not nearly as enthusiastic about it with me than with their dad. He makes it a lot more fun for them. The boys might be easier to keep happy, LOL. Yes, just give them rocks.
Well, the thing is that I think what you do is you have dad take them to the parks when it's his time with each group, and then you do another activity with them. And then everything's chill. And you find your own activity that they like to do with you.
You say, boys, we're going to the park. We're going to find as many worms as possible.
Yeah, search for worms or roly-polies.
Yeah, we're bug folk.
Mm-hmm.
Info. Do you and sister-in-law take your daughters to do fun activities like mini spa days or take them out for ice cream? If not, then it might be something to consider. I get it, your daughters miss spending time with their dad when their cousins come over, but how often can the boys say that about their dad? They need some male influence. And it appears their uncle is all they have. I'll say, no a-holes here. OP says, yes, I do take them out. Not really with my sister-in-law, I guess, but we all do go out to eat together sometimes. Comment 3 says, not the a-hole, but I understand why your husband feels bad about telling his nephews he won't spend as much time with them. I'm very close with mine, and it would break my heart to disappoint them. I think the solution might be in finding another activity to do with all the kids. Let's say the boys are there twice a week. Maybe they go play soccer once, and the other day they do an activity that the girls and boys enjoy. Or a day he goes with the boys, and the next one you do something with the boys, and he goes with the girls. Unless you're not close with them or don't really have a bond, splitting up the time between both parents so you both spend time with your nephews and your daughters might be a good solution. OP says someone else suggested the same, and I liked that approach. I, along with my sister-in-law together, maybe, could do these park sessions with the boys on days my husband is busy so that the girls get their one-on-one soccer time with their dad. Comment 4. Question. What does the split in time look like? And how much quality and separate time does your husband get with the boys versus his quality and separate time with his daughters? Let's say your husband takes the daughters 2 days a week, and then he takes the nephews 2 days a week, and then he has the nephews and the daughters 2 days a week, and the last day is all of you. In a case like this, it would feel like the nephews are prioritized more if they do take over playtime with your husband when the daughters are there. It's not clear how skewed the dynamic is, and there's an edit to add. Would it help if you watched from afar to see the dynamics firsthand to understand how your husband is when it's just him and the 4 kids? What exactly does competitive mean? And does it change how your husband interacts with the kids? OP replies. So Tuesdays, Sundays, and sometimes Fridays are when he takes them for soccer. And I'm reading the comments, and some seem to suggest I'm jealous. It's not that. It's just I've seen how much my daughters look forward to those days when the boys don't come around, when their father's here. They get all dressed in their kit and come back super happy. When their father's away, the boys come on these days, sometimes not Tuesdays. And the girls used to accompany them all. But they've just complained now it's not fun for them, and only really look forward when it's just their dad and them. I've seen them all play. When he's playing with our daughters, their play is unstructured and just them running around. With the boys, I've seen him try to keep it like that, but it just becomes a bit competitive, and my daughters start doing their own thing midway through. Comment 5, not the a-hole. If it's so bad that even his daughters see it, then he is seriously neglecting his kids. He either needs to find something different that all the kids will enjoy together, or discipline the boys for being too competitive and make sure his own children feel involved.
I don't think it's neglecting.
Yeah.
I think when you having taken care of, like, you know, I've taken care of 4 kids at a time, and I've taken care of, like, it was like 3 boys, 1 girl split. This family I used to babysit for. And a lot of times the boys would want to do, like, we would have like Nerf fights in the basement or like run around, play tag or whatever. And the older girl, she didn't necessarily want to do that all. And so I would do,
I'm sorry.
I would do that with the younger boys, and then maybe I'd set them up with something, and then I'd go hang out with her. I don't think necessarily the answer is, like, tell the boys to, unless they're roughhousing and being, like, too rough. I don't think that, like, the answer has to be, stop being competitive, like, stop doing that. I think it could just be, like, let's have girl time, daddy, daughter time, daddy, nephew time. Mommy, daughter time, mommy, nephew time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's neglect. I think it's just figuring out how to babysit 4 kids who have different interests at the same time, which is tricky.
Take him to the aquarium.
I'm guessing there's an element of favoritism in here, too, in that he was probably hoping for a son to do all the sporty things with and ended up with 2 girls, which is ridiculous because my daughters have way more in common with their dad than a son would.
I want to say that sounds inaccurate to what we're reading.
You're ridiculous, commenter.
I will say I'll call it out if I see it in a story, but it doesn't feel like what's happening here, especially because we know that he likes taking his daughters to the park.
Yeah.
We know that that's like a established thing. He likes playing soccer, kicking ball with them. It's just right now when he takes them all, they don't like to join in because the boys get too competitive. So yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
My daughters do like sporty things.
Yeah.
They really look forward to going to the park with him when it's just them. and I really have tried to do the same things he does with them at the park. But I honestly don't know where I'm going wrong.
Well, maybe go with them next time, learn from the best.
Yeah, get it right from the horse's
Yeah.
mouth. And my husband also put up a basketball hoop in our backyard, and the girls are really into shooting hoops with him too. And they haven't told him about their issue with playing with the boys directly. My oldest just said she doesn't want to, and my husband just kind of said, that's okay. But when he and the boys had left, I asked her and her sister, and they said they don't like playing with the boys. They steal the ball and play too fast, etc. I would probably just take the nephews aside, be like, hey, your cousins are 6, right? So when you beat them in soccer, you're not really doing anything. Instead of trying to make it like a thing where you win, let's just make it a thing where we all have fun.
Yeah. And then
maybe slow it down a little bit.
And then you can even you can have the time where you say, hey, when we're playing with the girls, these are the rules. We're going to be a little bit chiller. And then we'll do a little game. We'll switch off. We'll do a little game with just the, people who want to be competitive. And then we'll do a little chiller game. I don't know. You can have both.
Yeah, you won't be competitive, then you'll go up against me.
Yeah, you could literally just challenge them or your husband could challenge them and then go back and then say, okay, you guys go play for a bit. Go find sticks. I don't know. And then I'll play with the girls.
Yep.
I think there's an easy solution here.
Another commenter says, not to jump to conclusions whatsoever, but is there any chance your husband potentially wanted sons instead of daughters? Wow, look at you jumping immediately.
These people didn't read the story. He clearly likes playing or, doing sporty activities with his daughters. And so do the daughters. I don't know. I think these people are being a little bit assumptive to think oh, the girls don't want to play sports. It's not the case.
Nonetheless, not the a-hole, he needs to lock in and spend some undivided time with his daughters. OP says all we cared about when we were having them was that they be healthy. My husband loves my daughters and dotes on them. I know I made the post and maybe didn't provide enough background, but both my daughters are daddy's girls. And honestly, it's part of the reason I felt the need to ask him, because they're not getting the time with him that I know they enjoy. And there is an update. Wow.
Those commenters did not read the story.
They just wanted him to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's I
In
don't
this
really
case,
think anyone
Matt.
here is the bad guy.
No, he's literally spending time with his nephews whose father is currently in the military on leave. Or not on leave, but currently, in the military. What's the word? Oh, I wanted to say on call. That's all right.
On duty.
Deployed. On duty. Active military member. So I think to say oh, he's a bad person for wanting to spend time with his nephews who don't have a father right now, or around them at least, pretty narrow-minded. And it's clear that he loves his daughters and wants to play. They just need to find an activity that works.
Update. Since today was a holiday, he was going to let his sister know that he'd be taking the kids to the park earlier today, so the boys should come earlier. I asked my older daughter separately whether she wanted to go, and she said no, even though she had been hyped for it in the morning. I told my husband this. While she was cuddling with him, he asked her why she didn't want to come, but she was avoiding giving a reason. Eventually, my husband asked if it was because she didn't like playing soccer anymore. She said no, she did. Then he brought up whether it was because of the cousins, and she shyly admitted that yes, but didn't give the details that she'd given me about the competitive nature and everything. My husband hadn't texted his sister yet, so he told the girls the boys can't join right now, and if they still wanted to go to the park, we could all go. Both my daughters suddenly really wanted to go and went to get dressed.
I think you just create a schedule.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, girl, we're going to have an hour, and then boys are going to come in an hour, and there we go. Because he already said, oh, well, let's do it earlier. So clearly, he's got that time.
I think you should change the activity to some form of jousting. If you had them ride on my brain is seeing pigs. Put the children on the back of some large pigs.
Minecraft style? Carrot on a stick.
Yeah, and then just to sort of joust with a
foam.
Some kind of foam or plastic object.
Yeah.
Or have the girls roll the boys around.
Yeah.
Because I know the boys would love that and the girls would love that.
Put the boys in a big hamster ball and have the girls kick it around.
Because I think they have a reasonable, gripe, these girls. Because I remember being 3-4 years younger than a lot of the boys I was playing with, because my brother was 4 years older. And, you want to keep up with them, but, you're much younger. So you can't necessarily... Because I think the split is, 6 and 9 or whatever. The boys are 9-ish.
Boys are 9.
And the girls are,
6
and 7.
7.
6, 7. Whoa.
We're at the park now, and the girls are having fun with him. I think he's going to take the boys later in the evening. I'm not sure. But my daughter telling him seems to have made more of an impact than me saying it did. Update 2.
Heck yeah, look at that.
Update 2. A few people have asked me if we've made any progress. So last Tuesday, after we'd gone to the park in the afternoon with the girls because of the holiday, he'd planned on taking the boys separately. I'd told him he'd be too tired, but then he couldn't because he was beat, so he told his sister something had come up. His Fridays are a hit or miss on when he gets back. It kind of depends. He usually knows beforehand, though. So my oldest daughter had asked him about his Friday plan on Thursday night. He had said he'd be back early and they'd be good to go to the park. He then talked to her about whether it would be a good idea to have her cousins come too, saying it would be fun like they all used to have, and the girls said okay. When they came back, my husband thought he'd done a good job moderating things, and the girls also said it had been okay. They weren't as enthusiastic as they are when they come with him alone, so over the weekend, I just asked my oldest if their playtime at the park had gone better because Daddy had been trying to make it fun for everyone. She said it was, but that he isn't as into the game with them as he is otherwise. Basically, the gist of what I was getting was that he takes more of a referee role, and it's just different from what they're used to. I've gone along when it's just us, so I kind of understand what she's talking about. It's supposed to be them playing soccer with him, but it's not really. It's very unstructured, and they'll start playing whatever the girls feel like midway through. It's just more spontaneous, I guess. I had planned on bringing it up with him on Sunday before they all left for the park. My daughter seemed shy about saying all this, so I thought I would. But she actually brought this up with him herself.
Aw.
On Saturday night, when we were watching TV, she asked him if we couldn't invite the cousins tomorrow. My husband said okay, but asked her why she didn't want the cousins there. He later told me he was just concerned about this issue she had with them and wanted to know it wasn't anything serious. She just said they don't have as much fun, so he dropped it at that. I'd had this idea from a few comments on my original post, so I told him I'll tell his sister to still send the boys earlier and I'll go with them. He agreed. So I took them out earlier and tried to keep up with him, but I thought it went well. I took them for ice cream after, too. The boys got a good outing, and my sister-in-law got some rest as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Very nice.
And by the way, you can get some full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to an absurd, quite frankly, amount of stories.
It is freaking crazy.
You can do it at the park. You can do it in the dark.
You can do it on a boat.
You can do it with a
In a moat.
moat.
You can do it in the sky.
You can do it with a pie.
You can do it down low.
Okay.
You're too slow.
I think this is all looking good.
It's not enough jousting for me.
Yeah. Could be more jousting. That's my like critique. But in terms of, what you can do without a joust, it seems better than it was before.
What can I say? I'm a joust kind of guy.
And that's not a crime. Nor is wanting to have daddy-daughter time.
It's not a crime to have daddy-daughter time unless you make them joust all the time.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
didn't
that's
work.
what I forgot about that nursery
Slime.
rhyme. Joust in the slime.
I think you guys are doing all right.
You did good.
You did good.
You did good. I
You
would
did
have.
good.
I would have had the boys find more rocks. Find more rocks.
Find more rocks.
Say, boys, go find me the best rock in the park.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
That will preoccupy them for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, we were going to do the same thing, but my sister-in-law told us the boys said they'll just wait for when my husband is free. No!
OP.
I think it needs to be like, okay, you don't need to keep up with them doing soccer. Like I'm saying, get them to find the coolest rock in the park.
I think you just need to focus on clearly every time we try to do soccer with them doesn't work out. So let's just do different activity with the boys and the girls. You can be different activity mom, and dad can be soccer dad.
That's right.
Let's try that.
She asked him when he'd be free and whether his free days had changed. He said there had just been some changes to his schedule. I was of the opinion he should tell her honestly what the issue was, but he seems to think making our daughters the focus of the conversation would be wrong. I disagree, but she is his sister. So he went yesterday with the girls by himself. They've been super happy, but he said he'll come up with something for the boys too. It's a bit disappointing because I thought the solution I had tried went well, but apparently not. So it's still a work in progress. And that is the end of that story.
There you go.
I will champion.
Joust.
I will champion the joust.
I think you start, like, if you do kind of a Ren fair like type announcer thing where you're like, now we have our contestants. On this side we have Sir Child's name of
Sir Child.
Sir Child, and on this side we have other Sir Child.
Sir Daughter.
Sir Daughter.
Sir Daughter and Sir Child.
And they are going to fight to the unaliving.
And they're going to fight until one of them goes, ow.
Oh, you hurt me. And then
I'm
we all
trying
get
to
ice
turn
cream.
all of the children in your family into warriors.
I think it could work.
Okay.
I genuinely think that would be fun. I think that if you make the kind of referee, I think we could find a middle ground here.
Once you instill the warrior spirit within the children, they won't mind that it's too competitive. They will yearn for more competitive.
Yeah.
That is the end of that story.
Sure.
And you know what that means? That means we've got another one
Sure do.
coming right up.
I stopped being a maid for my in-laws, and now they're all furious.
Well, if I'm going to be your maid, you better pay me.
I'm 25 female, and my husband is 27 male. We have one child, one male. Looking for advice, please. I'm going to ignore any mentions of divorce, or why did you marry into this family? I'm open to compromising. I was just wondering where and how much to compromise and what takes priority. Thought an outside perspective could help. By the way, this comes from Important Turnup 3012, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, long backstory. Sorry about that. We had an arranged marriage in early 2023, welcomed our little bundle of joy in late 2024. I want to say that I'm very happy with my husband and I'm thankful for him every day. But like every marriage, there are some issues. For starters, I've grown up in the UK and my family was very relaxed, modern, and outgoing, and we all share the responsibilities of the household, male or female. My husband, on the other hand, grew up abroad in a very Indian cultured household where women stay at home and do all the housework and child minding. Men work out of the home and do nothing in the house.
He doesn't know how to do his laundry.
Unless he learned on his own. I doubt he does.
He's just a big baby man who needs to be taken care of by some sort of mother figure.
When I married my husband, I moved abroad to live with him. My family was very well off, upper middle class, okay, brag. We travel often and we're very used to luxuries. My in-laws, on the other hand, although not quite struggling, are not quite as well off and do tend to be frugal in a lot of things. Purely for academic reasons, I'm interested in why, like, what the reasons were for your arrangements. Because, like, typically in a lot of arranged marriages, it's like to have financial, better financials and stuff.
I think they're both probably just super hot.
Yeah. And the family's like, well, these people are really hot. It would be a crime not to put them together. I don't even care that you have less money.
You're hot.
You're hot. And that's all that matters. I did know all of this before I got married, but I didn't realize how hard it would be to adjust. We live with my in-laws, mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, nephews, 3 male, 5 male, in a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. We're able to afford this since it's 3 families sharing the rent. Now, here are the issues. I'd figured it'd be easier to make a list. We are practicing Muslims, so us women have to be fully covered at home since brother-in-law is not mehram. A male who is permanently forbidden to marry someone due to close blood, breastfeeding, or marriage ties.
Breastfeeding?
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so it's basically saying the women have to be... So usually when you are like, you're hijabi, or like you're, you have head coverings, you can't be seen by anyone not in the family or that you're not married to if they're male. And because brother-in-law is not, there's no connection with marriage ties to them, I guess, they can't be seen by him. We technically don't have to cover up fully in front of father-in-law, but I do so anyways, since it's how I was brought up. But I want to be able to dress comfortably at home, to wear cute short dresses and short sleeves with no scarf, especially because it tends to get very hot where we now live. As I said before, my in-laws are a typical Indian family. As the daughter-in-law, I'm expected to take over basically all of the household chores and cooking, whilst also doing the childcare. I try to ask mother-in-law to watch my son so I can clean, but she outright refuses because she doesn't want to. See, that's also confusing because if you have that like cultural background of the women in the house do all of the work or the housework, it's weird that she doesn't want to help out.
It's hard to play the game for so long.
Yeah, I guess so. She's like, I've done it. It's your turn now.
And I guess she only had boys, perhaps?
If my husband helps me with cleaning, he is told off by mother-in-law because he, as a man, shouldn't be doing any of that stuff, even though he wants to help me and is very open to helping, even cooking. So it all falls on my shoulders. Sister-in-law, unfortunately, is not cooperative with me at all. She barely helps out, stays locked up in her room all day and night, and only comes out to eat. She doesn't even clean up after herself. Brother-in-law is also of a very similar mindset to his wife, so he doesn't stop her or make her help out. So she's basically another burden for me to clean up after. And her sons, who free roam around the house doing whatever they want, constantly fight with my son.
Your son is a 1-year-old baby.
Yeah.
Why are they? How is that possible?
Constantly
And
fight with
also-
your 1-year-old?
If we're doing these like strict traditional roles, how come sister-in-law just gets to be a slob and not pick up after herself?
And you're picking up for mother-in-law as well. It seems like both mother-in-law and sister-in-law are not contributing to the house.
Honestly, like, and if I was like your husband, it's like I think it's fair to normalize breaking away from tradition if the tradition is like you need to be a helpless little baby who can't take care of himself, and you need to have somebody else take care of everything for you. It's like, no, I would like to be able to, I don't know, clean up my own house if I want, cook my own meals if I want.
I think break away from tradition when he actively doesn't want to do that, you know? Like, he's against it. His wife is against it. So at that point, I think the answer, which I don't know if you can do or want to do, but I think the only answer is to move out. Because clearly the situation here is not going to change.
There's children fighting your infant
Your 1-year-old baby? What are they? How are they fighting this
your little
baby?
toddler
They're like,
baby.
ha, you look so stupid. And the baby's like, they're like, oh, you can't even talk, dumb.
Maybe it's
dumb
like a boss
idiot.
baby situation where no one's looking. It's just like the baby knows kung fu.
And the baby's like, they'll never believe you. The stocks will rise, and I've already put a lot of money in them, and you guys are gonna be poor. And they're like, this baby sucks. And everyone's like, why are you attacking a baby? It's a baby. And they're like, I know what you are. And the baby's just like, now, respect for parents is very important to my husband. My mother-in-law has quite a lot of health issues despite being in her 50s. So now my husband believes it is my duty as his wife and my responsibility as the daughter-in-law to make sure mother-in-law barely has to work, which means doing all the cooking and cleaning while watching our son, who's very rowdy and is like a little tornado, leaving a mess wherever he goes. Obviously, I'm drowning. I was brought up on the opposite, where household chores are the responsibility of everyone who lives there, and everyone shares the duties. I am very impressed, but also kind of like baffled at how you have even managed this far, grapple with that massive amount of like cultural change.
Because OP's got skills.
Yeah, like that is, if I went from how I live and how I was raised to being expected to clean everything.
Well, what do you mean? That's what you already do here.
That's true. That's true. No, people help me. I get a lot of help. It's true. I get a lot of help. That would be a really difficult shift. I want to move out, but we can't afford it according to my husband. I think we can afford it because we have savings around £20,000 and rent is quite cheap where we live now. I'm willing to be frugal and buy only necessities, but I feel like I need my own space now. It's been 2 years since we got married and I'm tired. I haven't even been with my in-laws the whole 2 years since we moved to live near my parents for the latter part of my pregnancy and for a few months after I gave birth, then came back to my in-laws when our son was old enough to travel comfortably. And coming back was even harder for me. Living in the UK for those months drained quite a bit of our savings since everything is so expensive there, but we're managing. I do struggle with being frugal since I'm used to luxuries, but I'm not overly luxurious. I like snacks, chocolates, and eating out once a week or once every other week. But even for these little things, I get some pushback from my husband for adding to his expenses, although he always caves and buys me what I ask for. Cooking for my in-laws is a literal nightmare. Obviously, everyone has their own tastes, but it's to the point where they criticize every little thing that's not to their taste.
Just the nightmare, I imagine, it's just like they take a bite, they spit it at you, they take the plate, they throw it on the ground, and they just start going, ah!
Yeah, they're behaving like the 1-year-old baby.
Yeah, like I act.
They're all behaving like the 1-year-old baby, and the
What's a
1-year-old baby is
baby?
like drinking tea with like a pinky up, and he's like, "Man, these freaking animals.
Yes.
They don't even
No,
understand."
it still has to be a nightmare. So instead, like the baby is drinking tea, but then it speaks in a language that is like lost to time and like just like feels
Just
I don't know,
Hebrew.
it just feels bad.
Too spicy for one person is not spicy enough for another. Too much salt for one person is not enough for another. The list goes on and on. So cooking is exhausting.
That how do we get down to the logistics of that with cooking? Do you know how much salt you put into any dish you have?
Yeah,
I pinch.
none.
Okay, that's not true.
Zero.
But you don't put salt
I-
in your stuff?
I do.
No salt
Dakota's-
whatsoever over
Dakota's talking
here.
about the first time I've ever made aloo gobi, I undersalted it, which is an easy fix. Because you have to put a lot of salt into curries.
No,
have to
I'm
put a lot
sorry.
more
She
salt.
does. She uses not enough salt.
Okay, so we kind of understand what this
You're
is like.
literally
Make a
a
sad
bull-
puppy dog face. Well, come on. Put him up. Stand up. Come on.
It's fine.
What do you put salt on? What do you put salt on?
What does that mean? I put salt in everything.
You put salt in your
I put salt in my watermelon.
put salt in your water?
It's for my sodium intake.
Aw.
Actually, that's what Kevin James did.
Is he alive still?
Yeah.
So cooking is exhausting, especially when I don't even like their cuisine. So I can't enjoy what they eat. You don't like Indian food?
That's a tough one.
That's a red flag. I'm going to be honest.
Angie didn't like Indian food for a little bit, but I turned her over, and it was
Good.
going to be a hard relationship if she didn't like
Indian food is my favorite cuisine.
It's all right. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite.
Yeah. I have to put it's top 3.
It's top.
You can't. Mexican food's number 1. It will always be number 1.
The
Chinese
thing is that
food, Mexican
I
food.
do love
Indian
Mexican food, but there is so little of it that I can eat.
Beans. You could eat all day refried beans.
No, they
Honestly,
have
freaking
chicken stock in
Let's
them.
be honest, American food.
I like somewhat British foods. Who said who? I'm sorry.
She's
who's out
British.
here? Yeah, originally, but like, who's out here saying, "Oh yes, I like my British foods"? That's like well known to be the worst cuisine.
I like Indian food a bit, but it doesn't have enough beans on toast in it.
I will say.
Sorry, that was.
I will say. I think the only reason she likes British food more than Indian food because she's had to be the one to cook the Indian food, and no one has taught her, hey, this is
Yeah,
what a
maybe
good
she's not
Indian
making
dish
it
is.
well.
Yeah, I think so.
I sure do love me 800 pounds of flapjacks
Yeah,
every
you
day.
gotta cycle back.
And I eat 3 raw pigs because I just unhinge my jaw like a snake.
Are you?
Dakota
I
he
did an
made fun of
offensive
people.
British accent, so I have to
Yeah.
call us all big, fat, stupid American.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
he had
who's
to.
that?
He had
Who's
to
that
go back.
lumberjack?
Paul Blart.
No.
Kim finds us British
Paul
people
Bunyan?
notoriously hate British food. Exactly.
Yeah, are you Paul Bunyan?
Paul Blartian.
Paul Bunyan. Anyways, let's get to it.
A nice mild flavor with some spices, but not drowning in it. I'm imagining
She's white, dude.
she's no, she's Indian.
She's not Indian. Her
Yes.
her partner's Indian.
Yes, they're both Indian.
They're both Indian?
Yes.
How did this happen?
I'll tell you,
She sprinkles
colonization.
a little bit. My in-laws, on the other hand, want cooking with so many spices that it's all you can taste. You want it? You're supposed to taste the spices. Oh, people, sorry. We just have different stuff. Honeybee says, I beg your finest pardon, Sophia. There's nothing wrong with British cuisine. I think like the entire world, including most of British people, would disagree. However,
Well, here's what I'll say.
I'll give you, your desserts are great. Top notch.
Regardless of any cuisine you're talking about, it comes down to the cook.
That's true. Also, I will say when I was in London, you guys had excellent cuisine because it's like a big melting pot there. So
Honeybee's gonna come after you.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Jay Elliott, move on.
Now, I can't now because you're telling me to.
I'll stop here for now, but I'm sure I could go on. I'm sorry, Jenny Elliott. Oh, he said I'll stop now. As much as my husband and I get along and love each other, we also clash a lot. And I'm starting to wonder how long I can hold out for before I break.
Oh no.
I know this post probably sounds so bad to whoever's reading, so I'll just add that, like every marriage, yes, there are complaints, but there are also lots of positives. Here are my favorite ones.
Yay.
My husband picks flowers for me around once a month, and I dry it and preserve it, and it makes me so happy that he thinks of me when he's out and about. I've got such a big stash, I've started wondering if I should throw some away, but I can't bring myself to. He knows how to cook. I'd argue that he's a better chef than me and would often cook for me during my pregnancy and post-birth. He is an amazing dad, playing with our son when he can, taking care of him and me. He's very involved, completely the opposite of his own father. Exactly what I've always wanted in a husband. He's never shouted or raised his hand at me in the 2 years we've been married, even though he has a temper, and I know it. When he's upset, he'll stay quiet, mull things over, then come talk to me when he's calmed down. He sits me down, explains why he was upset, and tells me what I can do to help him. I, on the other hand, am the complete opposite. I'm a horrible communicator and shut down when I'm upset, which is maybe why none of these issues have been raised before. Maybe the issue is that you haven't been able to tell him, I really don't like this situation that we're in, and I don't know if I can continue living like this.
Yeah.
He does his best to make me smile and laugh, even if I'm not receptive to it. No matter how hard his day was, he'll come home and put on a smile for me.
He's a good boy.
He's a good little boy. He's a good little smiley boy.
Usually I'm touching out and tired by the time he comes back, but he doesn't let that bother him and still tries to be the best person for me. This man has the best dress style I've ever seen. Will often match our accessories or clothing in one way or another, him matching his watch and cufflinks to one of the colors of my jewelry, me styling his clothes so they match something on mine.
I do that.
That's a cutie little patootie thing to do. Hey, did you know that you should change your last name to Patootie?
Because you're a cutie. It's so much fun, and it makes me feel so loved. So yeah, I really want to try to find a way to make us both happy. I don't want to shut down and I get overstimulated. I want to be able to stop what I'm doing in the kitchen to give him a hug and kiss when he comes home, instead of having to wait till we're in our room. I want to decorate my house with all the flowers he's given me. Please advise me as much as you can, and if you can, please be gentle. My mind's a bit fragile and emotional. But do you have any advice?
Yes.
So I know.
We pay so many taxes around the world. There has to be a program. One set of parents can just disappear because they're so annoying. Because everyone has those in-laws. They're like, oh, my in-laws.
Oh, my in-laws.
There's got to be a program that gets rid of
Kidnapping
them.
program?
No, I mean, kidnapping, sure. We can kidnap
A
them.
In-law
program where we
napping program.
kidnap people?
Maybe you
Yeah.
should just make them take naps.
I think
Get that whatever the whatever the thing in the turkey is that makes people sleepy. What is that? Tryptophan?
Sure.
Tryptophan?
I don't know.
Yeah, just load him up. Load him up with the tryptophan.
I think what the solution here is, which might not work depending on how your husband receives this. I think that you have to be brave and go to your husband and say, this is how I'm feeling. I do not think that we can live in this house with so many people while I'm trying to raise my son or our son together. And then say, hey, let's sit down and look at the budget, see what we need to do. Maybe we get a small apartment. It seems like you're pretty used to luxuries. So maybe you wanted a bigger place when you were in London. I know it's still expensive, or like when you were in the UK. But maybe we, find a place in a cheaper area that's smaller, just so we can save money. Maybe we talk to your parents if they're pretty well off, and ask them just for a loan.
Yeah.
And then we just look at the budget and we say, okay, what do we need to do to afford this?
Yeah.
Because we cannot keep living like this.
Yeah, no. Unsustainable.
Lie to your parents.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we want to get our own house so that we can be the strictest, most conservative version of ourselves that we possibly could be.
Yeah.
I don't want my husband to even lift a single finger. And you know what? Whatever you have to say to get them on your, because if you're honest with them, they won't support you. They won't. They'll be like, oh, so you want to get your own house so that my son can clean up?
Yeah.
Just lie to them.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Lie to them.
Lie to them. Honestly, no one else matters except for you and your husband and your kid.
And that kid who's starting fights.
Starting fights. And your boss baby, who wears a suit all the time for
That's
some
how you should
reason.
frame it. You're like, we got to get our kid out of here because he's causing trouble.
I also love just like the boss baby lore that this baby is always wearing a suit. Did they change this baby's diaper, or is he always wearing a suit?
That's his skin.
There is an update. It's been a few days since I posted and thought I'd give a quick update, since I wanted to ask for more advice. Before I got into it, I wanted to thank the comments that opened my eyes and made me realize that not only do I have an in-laws problem, I also have a husband problem. I didn't want to say it because you said, I'm not the divorcing him. But yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a husband is a problem when he's around your
Yes.
in-laws.
Which
problem.
solution? Move out. I was so desperate to have at least one person on my side, I overlooked his faults and his part in the problem and made excuse after excuse for him. I want to say I still love him a lot. Oh, and I'm going to do my best to make this marriage work, but I'm done sacrificing everything to make it happen. Whoa, big departure from the beginning of the story where she said, don't tell me to divorce him because that's not happening. I didn't even put that on the table because I was like, oh, I can't give that advice because she's not going to take it.
I think she may have read some comments
That
and-
all said divorce, and she went, well, I guess I can't ignore those.
Guys, that's why I told you not to tell me that.
Now I
Because
wanna
now I'm going to
divorce
divorce my
him.
husband.
So first of all, my husband and I had a brief talk. We've been having a busy few days, so the in-depth talk will have to wait. Long story short, I told them the following. I'm exhausted. I feel like a live-in maid, and I hate it. We've talked before, and I've always told him how I'd want us both to do the housework when we're home, since we both live in it. It shouldn't be solely on me to manage child minding and housework 24/7 while he works, and then comes home and relaxes. I reminded him of this. I asked about moving out, and he said this is a big no on a financial scale. That just can't be possible.
Then
I
you're,
just
you're
don't
doing
believe
something wrong with your finances.
If you can't move
I
out,
do that.
yeah.
And I need to change it.
If you can't move out to a small apartment, then yeah, there's something going on with your finances.
I think he probably just doesn't want to live in not a house.
Yeah, I think so. He gave a few reasons, but to be honest, I didn't really understand his side, so I won't mention it here. But I accepted to not move out right now. No. I said I'm not catering to his family's every whim and cooking and cleaning 24/7. He didn't look happy about this part, but he did not argue either. Like I said, short chat. 5 to 10 minutes in total. But I got some of my points across. Although I've started leaning back from everything, I found myself feeling really irritable and burnt out. I asked my husband to give me a break for an hour or two so I can wind down, but it hasn't happened yet. It's been about 3 days since I stopped being the maid, and safe to say everyone else is feeling the toll. The house is a mess. The kitchen is a mess. We're eating leftovers and hastily cooked meals. Mother-in-law stepped up, but frankly, her cooking is disgusting, and I hate it.
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, is it
Because you've
disgusting
already
'cause it's
said
too
you
spicy?
don't like the good food.
I've started only cleaning up after mine and my husband's messes, though he picks up after himself maybe 30% of the time. I'll work on getting that percentage up. I didn't cook for 2 days. Today we ate some soggy khichdi made by my mother-in-law with a heavily overspiced meat chili. Then today I decided to make chicken broccoli alfredo, a recipe I've been wanting to make for a while, but I knew my in-laws would probably hate, so I didn't. I decided to cook at night when everyone was asleep and then reheat for lunch. This way, no one could come in to give their oh-so-valuable input. So about the issues I mentioned in my last post, I realized that some of them aren't really issues, but with everything piling up, it became bigger than it needed to be. For example, having to dress modestly and not being able to dress up. These two aren't opposites and can be done together. I was just so burnt out. I hated everything, and this became an issue for me too. I need to remind myself to keep me as a priority, to do self-care and dress up cute but modest. Household chores, cooking and cleaning. Like I said, I've taken a step back and plan to continue to do so. I'm cleaning up after only myself, our kid, and sometimes my husband. Moving out. According to my husband, this is not an option right now.
What?
I don't believe him. I just don't believe
It
him.
has more to do with, I'm sure, family than it does the finances.
I
you know?
agree.
If you guys have 20,000 pounds saved up, you can absolutely get a small apartment.
They are, depending on when this post is made, they are also in an affordability crisis right now
Where?
in England.
But they're not in. They're in India.
I thought,
No, so she's from the UK, and they originally, when they were living in the UK, they used a lot of their money, but she moved to
oh,
live
I thought
with
it was
his-
the other way. I thought they moved.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's originally from the
Okay.
UK and moved to
Okay.
be with his family in India.
Okay.
I'm fine with this as long as serious changes are made in the house. From now on, it's every man for themselves. I can have my own space while living in shared accommodations. Cooking for so many different people. I'm going to prioritize cooking food I like and things my husband likes, since our tastes do overlap a bit. I'm going to make a lot of different dishes from different cuisines.
I think you should just focus on cooking the stuff you're good at cooking at.
I think that's what she's saying.
I don't know. It sounds like you're like, I'm just going to make a bunch of different, make the stuff you're good at.
I don't know. I think she just wants to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to care about other people's opinions and focus on experimenting more. Okay, so maybe not.
That's,
Maybe she just wants to try some new stuff.
damn it.
Well, I don't
Make
why-
the stuff
why?
you're good at.
Why?
Because if you're going to make it for a whole house of people,
But she's
you
not
make
making it
good.
for a whole house. She's
Make the
just
good
making,
stuff.
I kind of disagree because I think this whole thing has been I don't want to cater to the whole house. I want to do things that I enjoy doing.
But didn't she just say she's gonna be cooking for so many people, and that's why she's cooking the stuff that because she's like, I don't care anymore. I just want to cook stuff that me and my husband like, and if anyone else doesn't like it, I don't care.
Yeah. She doesn't want to cook for them. She says she's basically saying they can cook for themselves now. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think you should just be unilaterally made to cook for the entire house all the time.
I think that they should.
But when you do, if you do, I think it makes sense to have some kind of rotation of who's cooking for everybody for a given time.
Happen.
Yeah.
I personally think you cook for yourself, and if you find enjoyment in cooking, then yeah, experiment. Do stuff that you enjoy.
If you're cooking for a group, yeah, don't experiment. But if you're cooking for yourself, sure, experiment.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying you were gonna experiment for cooking for the group.
I don't think she wants to cook for the group anymore. They can all screw themselves while they cook what they want to eat.
This is just that not sustainable vibe, though.
No, that's why you need to move out.
This is an unsustainable vibe.
You need to move out. I don't care what your husband says. You can figure out a way to move out. People have done it before. I know it's not going to be easy, but I hope I can make these changes stick. I have no plans on reverting to the way things were before, now that I've been reminded of my self-worth. Anyways, on to the main reason I came back here so soon. Like I mentioned in my last post, I'm socially awkward introvert, so I struggle with putting my thoughts and emotions into words. My husband and I are going to have a more in-depth talk once things settle down. I wanted to ask for advice about what to say and how to say it. I know he'll probably try to argue that we need to look after his parents. I'm sure he'll say stuff like, it's selfish to only cook for ourselves. Sorry, it's selfish to only cook for ourselves? Ourselves are cooking? When have ourselves cook? I think OP's cooking.
What's the money situation? What's the rent situation? What's that? Because honestly, if you're being put up somewhere and you're not having to pay any money, I would agree with that. I would agree. If your penance of not having to pay money to live there is that you gotta cook.
I think that I don't agree. I think that it's been all put on OP, and I think that's too much.
I think
OP is caring for a baby, caring for an entire household.
I don't know. Apparently that
cooking.
baby likes to fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently that baby likes to really knuckle up. So
I think they need to move out. I'm going to stand my ground and not back down or give in, but I know it's also not reasonable to insist everything has to be done my way for the get-go. Some compromises will have to be made. If you guys can help me one more time, I would really appreciate it. Be as harsh, straightforward, or brutally honest that you need to be. It's going to be an uphill battle, I know, but if I can get my husband on my side, then we can do it. I just have to play my cards right. And if he refuses, well, that means some drastic measures. And there is a final update, but I think you sit down with him again and say, point out to me why we can't move out. Because you keep saying, oh yeah, we can't move out. We can't do it. Point out, show me our finances, and maybe bring to him some apartments, some other places that you could rent, and say, hey, this costs this much. We have this amount. That could work.
You know what I feel like he's going to say?
What?
You say, point out why we can't move out. And he'll go, because I say so.
And then at that point, then we consider divorce.
But it's so hard to divorce in India.
Yeah, then you're going to live with your 1-year-old alone.
It doesn't seem like she's necessarily like, that's going to be a problem. She didn't mention.
Okay. Well, that's good because her family's in the UK, though.
Yeah. I mean, she has an entire family that she could move back to and would probably fund her flight back.
Okay.
Because they're pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
So and it seems like they're more modern as well. So I feel like OP, if she said, I can't stay in this marriage, I need a flight back, I think they would support her.
Your energy would be better spent in trying to fix the dynamics between you and your in-laws. And I think, because the Foxglove says, I don't understand the culture. I understand the culture, but I don't understand why her mother-in-law is so adamant and demanding when it comes to cooking and cleaning. If her husband is also doing it, like, what is wrong with that? Someone please enlighten me. I do think that there is, because there's some disconnect there with the sister-in-law, because the sister-in-law doesn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's some kind of imbalance in expectations. And I think that your husband needs to spend energy, if he's adamant that it's like, we cannot move out right now, whether it's because it's the family or because it's the money or both, then it's like, all right, first, let's figure out exactly what our timeline is for moving out if we can't move out right now.
Absolutely.
And in the meantime, let's figure out exactly how we're all going to get along, because it does really feel like you've kind of already set your mind on not getting along, which is unsustainable. And even if it's not fair, sometimes all you can do is try to make things better.
Yeah, but your husband needs to be on that same page. Dured says, I'm betting the family can't afford for OP and her husband to move out. Probably.
Well, has there been Have we talked about what they're paying?
Not exactly what they're paying, but it
But they
was
are
said,
paying.
yeah, it was said that everyone is able to afford this house because there's 3 families paying for it.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
right,
so they
right,
are
right.
paying.
Okay, so that's okay. My earlier point about the cooking for no rent. If there's no rent, then yeah, okay, cooking for no rent, I take that all day. But if that's not the case, again, we just need to figure out.
Cooking and cleaning up.
We need to figure out it's unbalanced. We need to find the
You
balance.
just need to get your husband on your side, and if he's not willing to be on your side, then I don't see how the marriage can progress in a fair way. But there is an update. Hi everyone, it's been almost a month since I first posted.
Oh no.
3 weeks since my first update. To cut to the chase, it's going great.
Oh.
I majorly stepped back from all the housework duties and only really clean up if someone else is watching our child. I can see the mess is getting on everyone's nerves, but no one has said anything to me yet, though I can see their annoyed looks. Well, minus 1 or 2 times when mother-in-law commented on how messy the kitchen is and how many dishes there are. And I replied, why don't you watch the child and I'll clean up? Both times she took him for a few minutes, then brought him back to me, and I stopped cleaning the second she was back. I think that's great.
Yes.
I think that's great because you're not being like, "Rah." You are simply setting like consequences. It's not, meant to be like rude or anything. It's just saying, if you watch the baby, I'll clean. If you don't watch the baby, I stop cleaning.
You're Pavlov dogging her right now.
She learned pretty quickly, and although some comments have continued, they are generally not aimed at me, so I ignore them. That's not to say I'm not doing anything at all. I do an overall house reset every night before bed, mainly for my own sanity because seeing the mess drives me up the wall. But I keep them on their toes, doing only as much as I have the energy to, and not pushing myself to clean everything. So sometimes I'll only wash half the dishes. Other times, I won't mop the floor, or I'll leave the stove till it gets really dirty. By the way, you guys shouldn't leave us, because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this.
Yeah, don't leave us out.
Don't leave us dirty.
Please don't leave us. Don't leave us in the dark, please.
Because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
We're there. Check us out. We're there.
Do it.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
This was beautiful. Boundaries.
I think use of, or, setting up boundaries.
Low key, I hate we had to kind of do the Pavlov dog thing instead of actually communicate because even if you did communicate OP, I don't think
she would
it'd
listen.
stick.
Yeah, I think she would reject it.
I still think that you should be aiming towards moving out, though.
Instead of respecting your authority, she'd be rejecting your authority.
I think that you have found a good, compromise right now, but I think that the end goal should be moving out. As for cooking, I've taken some time to make mini desserts and try out fancy mocktails and mojitos on days I don't cook. And on the days I do cook, I make something I want to, usually English style.
Boiled.
No complaints there either, and mother-in-law has taken over the role. It's not a perfect solution, and everything is still a mess while everyone adjusts to the retirement of their live-in maid, but I'm sure we'll settle into a routine soon enough. I've made my stance clear to everyone. If they want me to cook or clean, someone else has to be responsible for babysitting. Otherwise, my child is my priority and I'm busy with him. Just wanted to post on here in case anyone wanted to know, and because I've been thinking about updating for a while. If anyone has any advice, whether about how to keep myself as a priority and maintain or better the current situation, I'm all ears. And if anyone has any recipes they'd like to share with me, meals, desserts, drinks, snacks, it'd be very much appreciated because I'm quickly running out of ideas. Thank you.
Buttered chicken.
That's great. I think
Butter.
OP getting to experiment in cooking brings a lot of the fun back into it rather than it just being a chore, which I think is great.
Dude, when I get a 1-year-old, I cannot wait to teach them how to cook with me.
I am gonna once
When
they're
I
able
pick
to
my
hold
1-year-old
things,
up from the 1-year-old store.
once they
Oh,
are able
boy.
to hold things, they're going straight to work.
Yeah. It's like
In the
I've
mines.
I saw this video of a little dude. He was like 1 and like cutting stuff up. And then, he's getting his motor skills
He
down.
probably was 2.
A year later, when he turned 2, he was
He was
able to
1?
chop it up. Yeah.
That's
They start him early. Dude, my kid's going to be playing basketball like before he's sitting up.
That's impressive, man.
You're like, my kid's gonna be tending the livestock. What is that? What is that thing where the babies are in it and they just kind of like hover and they like can
Oh,
walk
the little
around?
bouncing baby thing.
The walking, yeah.
Yeah.
The little,
The-
I know
the
what you're talking about.
the walkie roller.
That's how I worked on my basketball skills.
Yeah.
Was we had to catch goats to worm them. And so what I had to do is in my field, I had to like kind of,
Oh, you were doing the Caruso shuffle.
I was like trying to get them and then I'd find them and then I'd dive and grab their leg and then we'd worm them. It's kind
And
of
then
fun.
you'd injure LeBron James's ankle, like that one guy everyone hates. I can't remember his name.
There's a few of them.
This is back on the food topic.
Oh yeah, what you got?
This isn't UK specific, so I won't throw any of our Brits under the bus.
I will.
But
they
when
have
I was
big red buses.
when I was in Europe, I feel like this is just kind of about spice levels in Europe. And I was in Spain, and I feel like I expected Spain to have spicy foods. And I remember every time I ordered food that specific would say like hot, spicy, like 3 peppers, I would eat it. And I was like, this has no spice. It wasn't spicy at all.
The Spaniards
Yeah.
and
so
the Cubans are not really
they are not
known for the actual spice levels of
Yeah.
the food. I don't know about Portuguese.
No,
But I do know
they
that
weren't really spicy.
It's
in
Latin
Portugal.
America that is known for the spice.
Yeah, Latin America, they know how to spice
Um,
things. I didn't have any spicy food other than like the Indian food that I had while I was traveling.
Oh,
But in
got it.
Europe, I didn't have any spicy food, even when it said it was spicy.
Let's give them a little spicy ending.
If you love us, make sure to
Time
subscribe.
out.
What?
Spicier.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow. It's so hot.
Hey, don't leave yet. We've got some stories that we think you'll enjoy, so stay tuned for the next one.
I found unhinged messages on my boyfriend's phone. I want to report it.
How unhinged.
Hi, Reddit. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, let's call him Fred, for 2.5 years. We're both physicians. He's 30 and I'm 28. I'll try to give you a full picture so I can get accurate perspectives from you all. By the way, this comes from Beeb! And if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. When we started dating, we saw each other almost every day. Now I only see him maybe twice a week as he works 24-hour shifts at 2 hospitals, A and B, with only 1 day off in between, which he spends mostly sleeping. He used to spend those days with me, even if it was just a nap in my bed. But not anymore. A bit of context, Fred lost his job at Hospital A last summer due to financial issues. His childhood best friend, we'll call him Tom, helped him get into Hospital B in October. Then in December, Hospital A rehired him. So now he works at both. For my part, I worked at a healthcare center that shut down, and I haven't found another job since. I've been depressed most of my life, and I've had low self-esteem despite often being told I'm attractive. I suspect Fred also struggles with insecurity, but he hides it behind an overly confident facade. We're similar in some ways, but very different in others. Fred has always had trouble showing empathy, especially when I cry. To be fair, it often happened during fights. But the things we fought over were often petty. For example, one time during dinner with my family, he got furious because I leaned over to see who viewed a story that he had posted. He accused me of being jealous and made me cry, yet offered no comfort. Early in our relationship, we used to work together in the same building briefly. That's how we met. I found out by checking his phone, yes I know, that before we got together, he was flirting with nearly every woman at our workplace except me. In chats with Tom, he described how he was shooting his shot with all the women. It was humiliating, especially since I had made the first move.
Ooh.
Dang,
Well, maybe he
man.
was so intimidated by you that he couldn't do it. He was saving the best for last.
That's exactly what happened. A month into our relationship, I also caught him flirting with another girl. Uh-oh. He has a very high libido and was honest about it from the start. I, on the other hand, had barely any libido before meeting him, but spicy sleep with him was great. Unfortunately, I've gained weight from antidepressants and ED treatment, and now I barely have any spicy sleep drive. I once attempted self-harm. Oh no. I'm also planning to leave the country to continue my studies. We had talked about going together, but he seems to have forgotten that plan after going back to Hospital A. About 6 days ago, I went through his phone again. 6 months earlier, I had seen a message where he commented on a coworker's skirt with Tom, and another where Tom sent a picture of a patient's chart, which is Leah, a coworker from Hospital A. And Fred replied, "Do a gynecological exam on her, please." which was gross, but not conclusive since she was actually there for a OBGYN surgery.
I don't think you would be
hate
texting
this.
about that though. You wouldn't. I assume
If
you
you-
don't just
yeah.
text. Doctors don't just text each other. Hey, can you perform a gyno exam?
But what if they're like, yo, this is like interesting readings. You really have to do this so I can understand like what this really means.
Around that time, Fred changed his phone password. And we do have an edit. It seems that everyone is reacting specifically bad towards this part. I want to note that, and all of you might think I'm delusional, but Leia is Fred's friend and a very chill coworker from Hospital A. He was never mentioned again by Fred with Tom. Tom sent her chart because she was at Hospital B, and Fred already knew that she was getting fibroid surgery because they are friends. Fred already knew that she was there in Hospital B, so Tom showing her chart was most likely him saying, hey, look, she's already here. And Fred told him to please do an exam on her to make sure that she's okay.
Girl.
Because Tom didn't laugh or anything. Okay, does that make sense?
OP, you are reaching.
Yeah.
You are reaching.
Oh, OP. I checked again recently because I had this sinking feeling. He's lied to me before, like when he came to my place wasted and swore that he hadn't had a drink. What? Nothing could have prepared me for what I found this time. Fred and Tom have been regularly objectifying nearly every attractive woman that they work with. Some messages include, Fred on Nurse Monica. Her body is amazing. Her butt is delicious. Her kitty must be wild, dude. I was staring at her huge front airbags. I want to suck them until all the plastic comes out. Fred on Nurse Elena. She looks impossible to satisfy.
Ew.
She must be crazy in bed. Nice butt. And Tom said, yeah, she says so. She claims herself to be good in bed. Fred also sent Tom a picture. These were already opened, C1's pictures, so I didn't see them, of a woman. I suspect Monica or Elena. Apparently some girl sent him a picture or selfie exercising at home. And he said, you won't believe this. Look how hot she is. Look at her exercising at home. And since the weather is hot. And that picture made him, quote, kind of corny. He claims that they weren't sent directly to him, that those were actually screenshots from a story and not from a chat with her. Tom even joked, well, you see where she's going, sending you those pics. You should have 2 phones for you to be able to save those pics. What? And Fred replied, nah, I won't go that far. There was also another one in April in which Fred sent Tom a picture. Again, I couldn't see those, to which Tom replied, oh my gosh! And then Fred said, you told me to shoot my shot everywhere. There were also direct messages with some of the women. He replied pretty to one of Elena's stories.
Oh my god, he's one of those guys.
His chats with Monica and Beth seemed work-related, but I suspect that he deletes messages. His chat with Leah was empty. Then there was a particularly disturbing message. Fred told Tom, as soon as I'm done with work on this shift, I'll go sleep with Sam. As in, sleep next to someone during a shift. Wait, what? Okay, all right. When I confronted him, he pretended to not know who Sam was until I showed him proof that he follows her on Instagram. And he changed his story, saying that she was not on his shift, which was a lie, and eventually admitted that she changed shifts in December, also probably a lie. He keeps brushing all this off as jokes, saying things like Monica's front airbags are ugly anyway, and no one ever sent me a picture. And then he's not shooting this shot at all because he works really hard, and that's true, I guess, because I know it's not easy to work in the ER.
This is what happens when
Dude.
people are raised on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
Is it?
You're literally gaslighting yourself. If OP comes out of this as like, okay, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
Like, girl, this man is disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, are you not embarrassed to be dating him?
Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Absolutely. I mean, terrible person in general. But then also, while saying all of these things while he's literally dating you.
Literally dating you.
Is
like,
in that, like, I feel like you couldn't technically call that cheating, but like pretty
absolutely.
much
I mean, yeah, he's
would
trying to
feel
cheat.
the same.
He's
yeah.
absolutely trying to cheat.
Speaking as if he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's commenting on girls' things, like pretty. Like, that's
Yeah.
cheating.
But there's just too much. Too many comments, too many lies. I don't have concrete proof that he's physically cheated, but emotionally, mentally, I feel
Yeah.
like he's constantly fishing for attention, testing boundaries, looking at his coworkers in a spicy way, and mocking women with his friend. Reading their chats made me sick. The way they talk about women, like meat, like playthings, is deeply dehumanizing. And it's not just 1 or 2 messages, it's hundreds. And the worst part He chose to talk about all of this with his best friend like it's normal. I feel so overwhelmed. I don't trust him. I don't even know if I truly ever did. But I also don't know if I'm overreacting. Is this something men do just for fun?
Girl, come on.
Are these just jokes, or is this the ugliest kind of red flag? What would you do if you were in my shoes? There is an edit for the people saying that I should report him. I know that you're completely right. Unfortunately, this kind of behavior has been normalized in my culture. You see residents cheating all the time with nurses and such.
The thing is, this isn't cheating. This isn't
Yeah.
two people who, have made a decision together to cheat on, their partners, whatever. They're two adults who have made the decision. That's bad.
Sure.
Totally different. That is a consensual agreement between those two parties. This is two freaking creeps.
Yeah.
Like freaking predators who are commenting on all the professionals that they work with.
Yeah.
And saying disgusting things. And also cheating on you.
Exactly. I was in such a shock and still processing all of this. My whole body is shaking from being so vulnerable by sharing this post. And I also want to thank all the kind words. I really needed them. Also, I do work, but from home. But it's not nearly as lucrative as working in a health center, which has led to me not being able to pay my therapist anymore. You don't have to pay us to listen to our full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, completely free.
Search it up.
Yeah, there is a little bit more to the story and a little update.
I need OP to immediately break up with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
and report him, because I'm gonna be mad if that doesn't end.
This is not someone you want to be with. It's not someone you want to eventually start a family with and have sons with.
No,
not at all.
You do not want this person to be around daughters. You do not want this person to be raising sons. No.
Nope. There is a little bit of an update, so let's get into it. I really didn't expect for so many people to respond and to be so invested in this situation. It's even funny to read some people saying it's fake. It's also worth noting that I did use AI to improve my writing. If I hadn't, I think I wouldn't have been able to get my point across. It's shocking seeing people's negative reactions for everything, even for things that I talked about early about our relationship that I didn't think were that bad. I didn't plan to continue with this ugly story, but since so many people are invested, here it goes. Today I spoke with him, telling him that I'm going to report him to his female bosses, because he also spoke about them, but I didn't add that. And he got so mad that he told me that he's my enemy now. What? And that we should break up. It's over. And he also responded with a threat saying that was an illegal invasion to privacy and that he would speak to his cousin who's an attorney and that his parents will find out about this.
Oh, come on. OP doesn't need she's not the police. She doesn't need a warrant.
Yeah.
Is it maybe bad for a relationship to snoop in someone's phone? Yeah.
Sure.
You're not on trial.
Yeah.
She can snoop in your phone. That's
also just a funny way of saying it too.
you
That's illegal. I'm gonna tell my parents about it.
Come on, dude.
It's like that's
Okay,
not.
I'll just tell your parents what you were doing. So
yeah, it's like great. I'll are you gonna tell them what I found?
Yeah.
like everyone should know about this actually.
Yeah, please tell them.
Everyone.
Right. And I'm very close with his parents, so he will be prepared. And I told him, okay. What amazed me at that moment is that he would be okay with his family finding out the things that he says. But oh well, that I guess is for the best. It's all too overwhelming, but I do feel some clarity now. And that is the end of that story. Wow. Well, I'm glad that OP is out of that situation because holy crap. Holy crap, man.
Yikes.
Disgusting people in the world.
Gross.
Disgusting. But we've got another story coming right up.
Yeah. My friend's sister confessed her feelings to me, but I see her as a sibling.
Uh-oh. Sorry, girl.
I, 24 male, have been friends with Alex, 24 male, since our middle school, or more than 19 years. We were so close that we were always together to the point where people thought that we were siblings. We lived in a small village and our houses were really close together. So throughout high school, higher secondary, and college, there were days we spent time and nights in each other's houses. I was literally like an adopted son to Alex's parents. By the way, this comes from Need Some Advice, please. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Alex has a younger sister, Alina, 21 female. I have no siblings. So the moment I met Alina, she has been like my own sister. since I've always wanted to have a sister. Whenever I was in Alex's home, she always came and spent time with us. Me and Alex studied in the same higher secondary school and college near our village that even in our late teens, our friendship still continued. Alina was so close to me that whenever Alex or her father weren't free, it was my job to take her shopping or to places she wanted to visit. So I was literally a second brother to her. We were so much like siblings that there were times I scolded and reprimanded her. She has always been obedient towards me more than she has been to Alex. I wonder why. So her parents always used to joke that I am a better brother to her than Alex.
Dang, man.
There was an incident that occurred when I was in college. I went to a movie alone since all my friends, including Alex, were busy with something. When the movie finished and I was coming out of the theater, I saw Alina and 2 of her female friends coming out of the same theater. I was surprised and went to ask what she was doing there. She was completely shocked to see me and started crying. She didn't say a word and continued crying. Whoa!
Wow.
When I saw that people were staring at us, I took her and her friends to a nearby cafe and started asking for details. They confessed they cut their tuition class, came to the movie without anyone knowing. I asked if they did this regularly, to which they said it was their first time and they'd never do it again. All this time, Alina never spoke a word and she just continued crying.
Oh my
God. This
God.
is like when you do like something slightly bad and then
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I told them that this time I would help them to cover it up, but if I ever saw or knew about them doing it again, I would inform their parents. The girls agreed and the 2
Dang.
friends left. I bought Alina snacks for her to stop crying. And for some time, she stopped crying and said she was sorry. I told her it was okay and to go home and never repeat this again. I never informed Alex or his parents. 3 years ago, Alina got her admission in a college in a faraway city that she had to move away. Her mother was so reluctant to send her away to a totally different city. Alina insisted it was her dream college, that she wanted to study there. So she moved away to the new city when I was in my last year of college. 2 years ago, I graduated and got a job in the same city Alina was studying in. Alex got a job in another city, which is even farther away from both our village and the city I got the job in. Both of us were sad that we had to separate after more than 17 years of being together. But his mom was really happy about me getting a job in the city that Alina was in. She said she can finally be at ease since I was there to look after Alina if anything happened to her. So when I moved to the new city, Alina was there to collect me from the railway station along with her friends.
Knowing this guy,
Yeah.
Alina probably like wore something really cute and was
Yo,
super happy
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, she
It was like,
oh my God, I'm
gosh,
going to pick him up from the station.
Yeah.
And all of her friends like, oh my God,
And he gave him a hug around his neck. And like, oh my gosh, how are you? And he's just like,
you.
Like, hey, good to see you.
How's a little, I don't know, probably calls her like chicken.
Little chicken.
How's a little chicken doing? And she's like, oh, hi, that's not my name. Alina and 4 of her friends lived together in a rented house near their campus. I introduced myself as Alina's brother's friend. All of them were communicating something through their eyes. Later, I settled at a place near my company. It was only 30 minutes away from Alina's campus. She and her friends took me to the major places in the city that evening since it was my first time here. I was really happy to be taken care of by them. For the last 2 years, I have been living in this city. During Alina's vacations, we went back to our village together and came back together. I was gifted my own car a year ago by my parents. Now, I am well acquainted with all of Alina's friends that I take them for shopping and movies during some weekends. There were times I was even called to the house they live in to move furniture or change lights. They even cooked for me and we ate together at their house on some holidays. I've already told them no matter what the place or time is, if they needed help, be sure to call me. Today, when I reached my room after work, I got a call from Alina's number. I took the call and one of Alina's friends said she will share a location and asked for me to be there. I asked what happened and she said, I will understand once I'm there. So I took my car and went to the location they shared.
dude.
Uh-oh. There I saw Alina and 3 of her friends outside a pub. Alina was sitting on a bench outside while all 3 other girls were standing next to her. I went to them and asked what happened. They said they just came for some drinks and Alina got wasted. It was not a shock to me since I knew these girls went out for drinks occasionally and I used to pick them up sometimes. They said they needed help to bring Alina back to their house. I went near Alina and asked if she could walk. She opened her eyes and looked at me. She called out my name loudly. B. Why are you here? I told her I came to take her back home. She didn't reply. She screamed at her friends, asking them why they called me when she was this wasted. Her friends were looking at each other, not knowing what to say. I carried her to my car and sat her on the front seat. Then I asked the rest of the girls to get in. They said they were not planning to return yet, and they were still friends waiting for them inside. I asked them how they planned to return. They said they don't plan on drinking anymore and they'll call a cab. They said one of their friends is still home. She doesn't drink, so she decided to stay home. She will look after Alina, that all I have to do is take her home. I told them good night and started driving. Alina was still sitting next to me, silent, and was staring at me. I wanted to talk, but decided not to since she was too wasted. After driving for about 10 minutes, Alina told me to stop the car. I stopped it, and Alina started throwing up through the window. Oof. I waited for her to finish. After finishing, she started crying and started bawling that she was sorry and asked me not to hate her. She kept on apologizing and asked me not to scold her. I turned the car off and told her not to worry. I told her this happens sometimes and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Even though I don't drink, I've had friends and coworkers who got wasted and threw up a lot. But she still kept apologizing and told me not to hate her. I totally had no idea what to do next. Then she started saying that it hurts the most when I scold her. She said she never gets this much hurt even if Alex or her father scold her. I was happy to hear that she gave me that much respect in her mind.
Yeah, it's probably just because, I mean, we know that she likes him.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, even if she didn't even realize that at first, like, I'm sure that would kind of hurt if it's, like, someone that you really care about or you really want to, like you back.
Yeah.
That
No,
would make sense.
I understand why she thinks that, but it's him being like, I love that she respects me so much.
Yeah. The whole situation is just strange.
So I didn't speak and let her finish her ranting. She said she doesn't want me to hate her, thinks she's a bad girl, and wasted. It was then she started saying things I never thought I would hear from her. She said she's always had a crush on me since high school. She said she was so in love with me that she made reasons to go out with me for shopping those days. She said she always loved to spend time with me whenever I went to their house. She said she loved the way I looked. I talked. I took care of her. She said she loved everything about me. She said she was devastated the day I caught her at the movie theater, not because she was afraid of her parents, but because she was afraid I would think that she is a bad girl. She said she cried about it the following days after the incident. She said that all this time she knew that I only viewed her as my sister and it hurts her a lot. She always wanted me to view her as a girl rather than my sister.
This is such a rom-com, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. She said she went far away from our village for college in order to get away from me and her feelings toward me. She called me an a-hole for following her to the new city just when she was trying to move on. She said seeing me at the railway station that day made all of her feelings for me flood back at her. She said that the last 2 years she enjoyed spending time with me again, that all the weekend plans and household chores were planned for her to spend more time with me. She kept on bawling and weeping. She even said she rejected 2 guys who asked her out during the last 3 years just because of her love for me. She said I'm so insensitive and cruel for treating her like a sister. Actual drop bears is smut prologue.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said she tried to hate me as much as she could, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't find it in her heart to do so. She said I should at least give her a chance. After ranting all this time, she then continued crying for some time and slowly calmed down. I was frozen in my seat, searching for words. After she calmed down, we both stayed silent for some time. I was totally confused, and never in my 24 years of life had I ever felt this lost. I asked her if I could start the car. She stayed silent.
Wait, what? When
They're
when
driving.
did they park?
Oh, when she started throwing up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought they
yeah.
were just. I
They
thought
were
that
at
was
a-
while they were.
No, they were at a
driving.
Sonic.
She's like at
They were at
her,
a Sonic.
she's at her like literal worst,
Yeah.
and she's explaining, "Oh, this poor girl."
Oh, and he's
Yeah,
like,
Miss Uzi says girl needs to lay off the romance novels.
literally. The thing is
Yeah.
that, I mean, I know she's a little tipsy. We both stayed silent throughout the drive. I was so tense that I could hear my own heartbeat. When we reached her house, I got out of the car and went to open the door for her. But she actually opened it and tried to storm out. I could see that she was angry, sad, and embarrassed. It didn't feel like she was wasted anymore, or so I thought. After taking 2 steps outside the car, she fell down, losing balance. I ran and tried to help her up. She shouted at me not to touch her and not to even talk to her ever again. I stood there for a minute, not knowing what to do.
That's exactly.
Then
what
I went
happened.
and knocked on the door of her house. Her friend came and opened the door. Seeing me, she was confused at first. Then seeing Alina sitting on the ground in the front yard made her more confused. She asked me what happened, and I told her to help Alina get up and take her inside. Though she was confused, she nodded and took Alina inside. After 2 minutes, she came out and asked. I told her we had a little fight and asked her to take care of Alina. Then I told her goodnight and drove back to my room.
Wow. he closes the door
Yeah.
in his bedroom and then like puts his back against the door and sinks to the ground.
And he slams his fist against the wall. And he's like,
yeah. He's looking out the window as it's
yeah,
pouring rain.
he has
It's
his hand against the window, and,
Yeah.
and then it's like, wherever tomorrow may be there. And then it cuts to, it transitions to her looking out the window too.
Yeah, but different one.
Yeah,
But she's still
different
sitting
one.
on the ground.
She's-
She's looking up.
She's looking up at the stars. The rain's pouring on her.
She's like blinking because the rain is on her eyes.
This is where I am now, sitting on my bed, typing this. I tried to sort out all my thoughts and feelings. Nothing is helping me reach anywhere. I'm totally lost. It's not the first time that a girl told me she loves me. I was asked out by both in college and by one of my coworkers. I kindly rejected them. I don't think I'm mentally mature enough for any relationship. I had crushes in high school, but never even thought about a relationship. I've been single my whole life, and I've never even held hands with a girl romantically. I always thought that the one I need would naturally come to me when it's the right time.
Wow.
Knowing that the girl I've considered my own sister my whole life has been crushing on me is the biggest shock I've ever had. What should I do now? Cut contact with her? Dang. But what will I tell Alex and her parents? Should I speak to her? But what can I tell her other than the thing she already knows, that she's like a sister to me? By the way, you guys are like sisters to me. And I want you to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left, but do you have any final thoughts?
What? I mean, if you're waiting for the
Yeah,
one to come
maybe
to you.
maybe the
she's
girl's been
literally
in front of
screaming
your
at you.
eyes this whole time.
Yeah. He's never had a relationship or held hands with a girl. That just adds to the rom-com
This is your
effect.
time, man. Hold hands with her.
Hold hands with her. Maybe you'll feel that spark.
But
Maybe you'll zing.
if you really don't have feelings for this girl, talk to her. Say, hey, don't cut her off. Say, hey, I'm really sorry. I see you as a sister. I will always love you as a sister. I think
Yeah.
you're very important to me.
Yeah.
And then like see what she needs. Does she need space? Does she need time away from you? Don't have to cut anything off. I don't think
Yeah.
you even need to tell her brother. This is her thing. Don't embarrass her. Just have a
Yeah.
conversation with her.
Exactly. And
It's not a
yeah,
big deal.
definitely don't cut her off. Just be
No.
like, maybe we shouldn't hang out.
Yeah, maybe we
like
shouldn't hang out this much. I never knew this was what she was feeling all this time. It's more than 10 years. I feel guilty for hurting a girl for this long. I want her to move on. Knowing that she's refusing to be in another relationship because of me is hurting me more. She is rejecting the love she deserves for the love she may never get. Can I ever give her a chance like she asked and love her as a woman? Can a man change his brotherly feelings he had towards a girl his whole life into romantic feelings overnight? I'm only even considering this option because I never want to lose her from my life. She is that dear to me. Even if I can, how will I face Alex and his parents? Was it my mistake that she felt this way? Should I realize that an adopted brother would never be the same as a blood brother? Was I wrong to expect her to look the
Wait,
same way I
what?
looked at her?
I'm
Someone
sorry,
please
I actually
help
don't
me.
get that line.
I think it's saying like, was it wrong to think that like me thinking that we were had a sibling relationship was the same as her actual sibling relationship?
Okay.
I am totally lost. How should I move forward in my relationship with her? And I've already said, if you're not sure, go on a date with her. I don't know. If you
Yeah,
are
maybe.
sure, don't date her and
Yeah,
tell
if
her
you're-
that you don't
if
like
there's
her.
like an inkling of a questioning. go
Yeah,
on a date with her.
tell her like, hey girl, I don't know if I like you. I've always seen you as a sister. I'd be down to go on a date, but I don't want this to change. Like, can we be careful about this? Or be like, hey girl, I don't like you at all like that. Let's be friends. What do you need?
My ex-girlfriend demands to have my dog after we broke up.
That's literally my dog.
Backstory. We met a long time ago, just out of high school, and ended up going to college together. She's about 4 years younger than me, and we were together for 10 years. Things started getting rocky 2 years ago. Believe it or not, once I started to sense our relationship was starting to erode, I honestly feel that I did everything that I could to get her to stay. I spent my free time cleaning and working on things that I have always said I would do, but never did. Until now, while she was out getting wasted with her new friends. Well, that's very nice of you.
Cool.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Z. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So I wasn't what she wanted, and I'm okay with that at this point. She just didn't want to be with me. She wanted to move on.
Okay, what's the real reason then?
Yeah.
Cheating. It's always cheating. We didn't ever get married, and maybe that was part of the problem, but ultimately I'm glad that we didn't because it just would have made things harder for both of us. So post-relationship now. It was honestly the most amicable breakup I've ever had. I've never kept in touch with an ex as long as I have with her, though I am not friends with her, regardless of how much she claims she wants to be my friend. I am entirely good on that, and I honestly don't really want anything to do with her.
That's okay. You don't
That's
have to
fine.
be friends with your ex if you don't want to.
Yeah. When we broke up, we had 2 dogs and a cat. One of the dogs, we'll name him P.
Penny.
We'll name Penny.
Penny.
Yep.
My sister's dog name is Penny.
Oh.
One of the dogs, Penny, was our first pet and one that I had sought out and adopted from the pound. The next was a cat,
Kitty.
and that was all her. I'm fine with cats, but they're not my gig. Eventually,
They're not my gig.
yeah, cats.
What?
I've never heard that before, but
They're not my gig.
but
I don't
sure.
like playing with them.
Oh, like playing
That was
like
good. That was good.
that is pretty good. Interesting. Do we think
Wow.
that's what he meant?
And
No.
we're done for the night, guys.
That's
That was great.
Good night.
Ooh,
Bye.
spooky.
Okay. Eventually, she decided that she wanted another dog and entirely of her own accord adopted a new dog. Oh, Ollie.
Yay.
My one demand was my dog Penny. She could take everything but Penny. She kind of half-heartedly agreed, but didn't really agree. But it didn't matter because Penny stayed with me. Throughout the past year, my ex has contacted me and asked if she could take Penny for a while. I still trusted her for the most part and didn't want to come between them, mostly for Penny's sake, so I agreed and let my ex take her for 1 to 2 weeks at a time when it was convenient for me, as a single guy, to have her be a babysitter for a while. This occurred maybe 5 to 6 times throughout the last year. The last time I let her take Penny, it was for a week. At that point, I messaged her asking when she was bringing Penny back. I got no response. I wasn't worried because typically I would ignore her texts until it was convenient for me, and I didn't blame her for doing the same. So I gave her another day. I texted her again. Still no response.
Dude, she stole your animal.
Wait a few hours. Text her again. Rinse and repeat. This is literally, she dog napped.
She dog napped.
Dog napped. By the 3rd day, I'm freaking out, thinking she has taken my dog and isn't giving her back and that I'll never see Penny again. I drive to her parents' house and see her car in the driveway. I park nearby just in case she tries to leave with my dog. I text her saying, okay, well, I'm just going to come to your parents' house and pick up Penny then. She responds immediately saying she's having a really bad day and she'll bring Penny back in a few days.
Boo-hoo. Give me my dog.
Yeah. I sit and wait for about 5 minutes, watching for her to come out with Penny, but she doesn't. I text her back saying, no problem, I'm already here, and walk up to her parents' house and have an awkward conversation with her mom for the first time in a year as she gets Penny ready to leave. I take Penny, and just before I do, my ex says something like, I want to get her back next week.
Okay, that's funny because you're wumpy.
Yeah, she says that in a very serious tone, and I'm just like, okay, bye.
Goodbye.
So what? A lot of this text is to explain this screenshot. This is the email exchange that has occupied my mind for the last 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks of stewing on it, she just responded this morning. Knowing her as I do, I can't help but read this as a threat. Not that she's a terrible person or anything, but that response really makes me think that she's going to try and steal Penny. Okay, I feel like we need this screenshot. I feel like it's a screenshot of the email. We need to see what's going on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I can't
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This is from the woman.
Okay.
Hello. I hope all is going well. I'm coming to get Penny for at least a week. Given that I have let you have her all to yourself for a month now, sometime this week, please let me know which day is best for you. I'm happy to come get her, or you're welcome to come bring her to me. Thanks, Miss Blank. Gmail, back to OP. Hi, everything is fine. Since the last time I let you visit, I put a lot of thought into it, and I've decided I really don't want her to be gone. It's really hard for me when she's gone and confusing. We have had a routine, do a lot of walking, and when she is gone, everything changes, and I'm kind of lost. When she was gone last time, it was especially hard, not knowing when or if she's coming home and worrying about her. I fully realize you love her and that she was your dog too for a lot of years, but obviously things are different now. For almost a year, she is now just been my dog, my family, visiting you and my parents occasionally. My intention is not to hurt you. Oh, this is OP, by the way. Sorry, the other one.
yeah.
Okay. My intention is not to hurt you from seeing her, and I hope you understand that this is hard and is not about retribution. And the last thing I want is conflict with you. I am just no longer comfortable with letting her go. I am more than happy to set up visits for you with her. You can meet me when I take her for a walk. You can visit her and walk her for a bit, but she goes home with me. Thanks, OP. From Zex, that's totally unacceptable. I want her this week.
No. And then you block her. You have the dog now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, sorry, you're never going to see her.
Yeah.
Bummer.
He gives her this list of very reasonable, like, reasons, very,
Yeah.
like, valid reasons to keep the dog. And she's like, that's not fair. I get her next week. It's like, oh, did you not just read what I
Nope.
said? Like, no. Not that she's a terrible person or anything, but that response really makes me think that she's going to try and steal Penny. I cannot afford a lawyer, and I'm pretty sure that I have no real recourse against her if she is able to actually acquire Penny. I've dropped Penny off at a safe location for the night, and as I am not sure if she has a spare or not, I'm changing my locks tomorrow. Am I overreacting? Am I the a-hole? Assessments, thoughts, and we do have an update, but what do we think?
Honestly, no. She seems like she's going to try and get your dog one
Yeah.
way or another.
I mean, she kind of did try to steal your dog.
She
Like,
tried to keep it. The
the
only reason that
only-
you got it back was because you went over there.
yeah, like she was not responding when you were like, hey, so when are you dropping off my dog? And she's just, oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
What?
And then
It's a
as
birthday.
soon as she saw the text of being like, oh, okay, I'm coming over to pick her up, she's like, don't, no. It's
Yeah,
like,
no.
yeah, I
Don't
would
trust her.
I would totally change the logs. But we do have an update. I changed my logs the day after I got that last disturbingly short and demanding email from her. I saw the email as a threat and predicted that at some point in the next week she was going to show up demanding her dog. And an hour or so ago, that's exactly what she did. Wow. Since I got her last email, I've been in the habit of bolting and locking all of my doors regardless of what I'm doing or what time of the day it is. I made sure to never leave Penny in a situation where she could be snatched. After she rang the doorbell, I peeked through the blinds to see her car in my driveway. Uh-oh. I just sat where I was and didn't make a sound, but quickly realized it was pretty clear that my dog and I were home.
No.
A few minutes later, she banged loudly on the door. I got up from where I was and went to the door. Bad move in retrospect. Could have been shot if there was a pew-pew involved.
Dang, what? If
Yeah,
you think there's a pew-pew involved,
really
let's
doubt
get the police involved.
There is, but
Jeez.
but I guess sure, good thinking.
He's like, got it,
Like, if that's involved, then sure, don't do that. That's good to know. I told her that I didn't appreciate her coming over unannounced and that if she didn't leave, I was going to call the cops. She responded with something about not wanting to take my dog. Do we believe her?
No.
No, absolutely not. I told her that I wasn't opening the door and she should leave. And then I heard another voice from an effeminate male called me a kitty and attempted to shame me for not letting
girlfriend,
Jay,
I think?
not letting the girlfriend see Penny. He said that if I didn't give up Penny right now, that they'd be back and they would take my truck, to which the girlfriend's father still has the title, and that they would make my life heck.
Well, you need to call the girlfriend's father.
Yeah, what?
Why is that under him?
Give me your dog or we're taking your truck?
Yeah, call the police, man.
Yeah, what? He claimed to have called the cops already, that they were on their way to take Penny. What? That they're not going to do that.
No.
I was pretty full of adrenaline at this point and was frustrated as F with my crappy iPhone and its insistence that I use Google effing Hangouts to call anyone. I ended up calling my parents, who are just a couple of miles away first, simply out of the ease at which I could contact them over the sheriff. Or shortly after finally getting a hold of them, my ex and dude with her got in her car and left. I called the sheriff. I haven't had good experiences with the law enforcement. I was freaking out because I really have an aversion to police and I do not trust them at all. I wanted to just close my front door and deal with it outside on the deck. My parents talked me out of it though, telling me that it was weird to have the police meet with me on my deck rather than in my house, and they helped me spruce up my living room and I felt better about a police officer coming in. Thank God they did that. I explained the situation and showed all of my documentation to the officer. The adoption documentation showing that my name as the one who both adopted and paid for Penny. He offered to put out a no trespass on her and the dude that came by with her. I was happy for anything after what had just happened. Apparently, if either of them is caught on my property again, they're looking at jail time. And you could be looking at more episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You can look here. You can look and hear. Look at the OK Storytime and hear our word.
How does that even work?
It's crazy, man. But there is a little bit more to the story, but whoa.
I do think that was all the right move.
I agree.
Yeah, because this is like kind of pre-lawyer stuff, so you don't have to spend the money on the lawyer, but you still get some kind of legal stuff involved in terms of, making sure they can't just steal your dog.
Yeah. And that's nice that that's like legally this is OP's
and now you have
dog.
a paper trail. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah. That's just so insane.
Good.
And absolutely you dodged a bullet by her just not being interested in you anymore. But there is a little bit more to the story. So Penny is now at my parents' house and I'm here at my house ready to call the cops if I see some headlights in my driveway. I also sent an email to Jay's father, the girlfriend's father, trying to resolve the situation with the title. I am ready to give up the truck if need be. I am in the process of acquiring a
oh boy. Dang.
I definitely predicted it, but still I just can't believe it got to this point after a year of amicability that she thought escalation was the answer here.
Hey.
Edit, forgot to mention, when the cop who came by called me after talking to my ex, he told me that she asked him about civil action. Is my next destination the legal advice Reddit? Or can I depend on the fact that we were never married and I have documentation showing that I was both the one who adopted her and paid for her, along with all the back and forth texts with her about her essentially babysitting my dog, and the text where she clearly ignored me about getting her back until I told her I was on my way to pick her up, and the fact that my ex's name is nowhere on the adoption paperwork. I did call the vet last week and changed her to my name and even told them about the situation.
Good.
And to not let my ex make any changes. And the person I talked to said that they would write down that there was a conflict, so I'm hoping that it helps a bit. I wouldn't put it past her to try. Do I seriously need a lawyer when I have all of this documentation in my name?
I don't think you do at this time. I think right now you have all of that documentation. You have a paper trail with the police.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're okay. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I think you're okay.
I mean, I feel like it kind of I don't know, that it seems like a strange question to me because I feel like you would want the documentation for a lawyer, it feels.
Well, I
You know
think
what I
they're
mean?
just saying like, do I need to start like finding a lawyer
Yeah.
and prepping for a legal battle? I think
Probably not
the
until anything
document-
happens.
Yeah, the documentation would be great for future stuff, but I think
Yeah.
they're just saying like, oh, if the police try to come and take the dog, I think you're fine right now.
Yeah, I think you would only need a lawyer if like
I don't- they
she
wouldn't
does
have a
anything and she's like escalates it even more,
Yeah.
where you would need to go to court or something, and you could be like, hey, judge, she has no grounds.
She's got
You
no
know,
grounds, Judge.
But
But,
she literally doesn't have anything.
Unfortunately, we have no grounds left. That was the end of that story.
All the stream.
That was the end of the episode.
Wow.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
See you tomorrow.